So then, Chelsea will play Manchester City in an all-English Champions League final after beating Real Madrid 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, 3-1 on aggregates. Timo Werner gave Chelsea the lead in the 28th minute. Chelsea dominated the game and they actually missed a string of chances that would have put the tie beyond doubt. But with 5 minutes to go, they did get that second goal, and it was their academy graduate Mason Mount who scored it to book Chelsea's place in the final. It's the third time they've reached the Champions League final, and it's Manchester City who they will now need to beat. Let's speak to Frank Sinclair, get some more thoughts from the former Chelsea defender. He's been watching the game all evening for us here on Sky Sports News. Frank, a very happy man with what your old club have achieved tonight. You said at the full-time whistle that it was a thoroughly deserved 2-0 win and a place in that final. But that performance you saw tonight, are you at all surprised at just how dominant and superior Chelsea were against a Real Madrid side who are normally past masters when it comes to knockout stages in the Champions League?
Yes, Jules, I certainly was, because, you know, when we drew Real Madrid in this round, you thought to yourself, over 2 games, it's going to be very difficult. Now, obviously, Chelsea went out to Real Madrid and played them. Yes, they played them at their training ground, which wouldn't have been ideal for the home team. But they were so dominant in that game. I just thought there was going to be a turning point where Real Madrid would have a say in the tie, and that never really happened. Obviously, Benzema scores that brilliant goal in the first game to level it going into this game. But Chelsea were brilliant today. I think, you know, the first half they were so solid. Real Madrid was frustrated, couldn't find a way to goal, and obviously Chelsea played on the counter-attack, and the only thing that was missing tonight, realistically, the score could have been 4 or 5 with the chances that Chelsea had. So it's a great performance. Won't get too carried away, because lying waiting for Chelsea is obviously Man City. After the performance, the dominant performance that they showed last night, it's going to be a hell of a final and a difficult one to call.
Yeah, absolutely, Frank. We will talk more about that. But just in terms of tonight's game, we spoke a little bit before the game about the impact that key players can have, and it can be the impact of just 1 or 2 of those players. Was it a case tonight that Chelsea's key players really stepped up and Real Madrid's key players, they just didn't?
Yeah, absolutely, and you'd say that over the 2 games. You know, when you look at the first game, obviously, you know, Benzema was the one that stepped up to the play for Real Madrid, but Chelsea had some real good performances all over the pitch throughout the team. And then tonight, you know, Thomas Tuchel spoke about how key a player that N'Golo Kante is to the team, and he showed it. You know, the amount of times he won the ball for Chelsea mid-pitch and started off counter-attacks, and then he had a hand in the goal that sealed the tie. So Mason Mount as well, who's been fantastic all season for Chelsea. You know, it's fitting that he got the goal that took Chelsea to the Champions League final, because he's been brilliant, a young player that's come through the ranks, Chelsea through and through. So it's been fantastic throughout for the whole team.
And from the players and the focus on them to the focus on Thomas Tuchel. He only came in January, and you talked about the impact of replacing such a popular figure as Frank Lampard. But if we look at some of the managers that Tuchel has got the better of in his short time at Stamford Bridge, Frank, there's a list here we're seeing. Diego Simeone twice, Sergio Conceição twice, Jose Mourinho at Spurs, Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, Carlo Ancelotti, of course, the former Champions League winner with Real Madrid, Pep Guardiola, who will hope to get the better of in the final again, and then, you know, the name above there, Zinedine Zidane, who he's now got the better of over 2 legs. And actually, did he outthink Zidane, particularly tonight?
Well, it's an incredible list of managers that he's got the better of, but I honestly think that Thomas Tuchel wouldn't care who's in the opposite dugout to him. He sets his team up to win games, and he believes in the way that Chelsea play. He believes in the players that he's got, and he plays the same way week in, week out. Now, obviously, in the first half of this game, whether it was down to tactical or whether it was down to the fact that Real Madrid just dominated the footballs that well, you know, you'd have to ask the manager himself. But for me, he goes into games, he's confident, and regardless of who's in the opposite dugout to him, he has respect for them, but he believes that he's, you know, the way that Chelsea are going to play, that he'll get the better of anybody.
Yeah, and it was a really impressive defensive display from Chelsea tonight as well, Frank. I mean, they're racking up the clean sheets as well. I mean, what is it that Tuchel has done to make Chelsea's defence just so hard to break down?
Well, it's just the organisation. You know, you put that down to obviously defensively. I think Rudiger coming back into the team on a regular basis has brought that extra bit of pace and desire at the back. But also, you know, as a side, you know, they're the complete side for defending without the ball, you know, just having a good shape to them, being difficult to beat and very organised. And that's one thing that you'd say that since Thomas Tuchel has come into the club, it's the one thing that you can see a big difference in.
And it's only a few years ago, Frank, that I remember there were some big alarm bells ringing because there hadn't been a Premier League team in the Champions League final for 4 or 5 years. But this is now the second all-English final in the space of 3 seasons. Frank, what does that say to you about the power shift maybe and the strength of the Premier League at the moment?
Yeah, it's where it should be. You know, you think about the other leagues in and around the world, and you'd say that, you know, the English Premier League has got the best players in the world, and that's shown in the fact that Arsenal and Man United could get to the Europa final as well. And I think that was 3 years ago when it was an all-British European final in both of them. So, you know, heading that way again. Good luck to obviously Man United and Arsenal. You'd like them both to get through as well. And I was pleased that Man City got through yesterday because, you know, we want to support the British sides. And obviously I'm over the moon that Chelsea have got through also tonight.
And before the Champions League final between these two sides, there's the small matter of a Premier League game on Saturday at the Etihad, Manchester City against Chelsea. What is that game going to tell us potentially about what we have in store for this final?
Well, it's almost a dress rehearsal, isn't it, for the final? But obviously there's 3 points at stake that both managers, especially Thomas Tuchel, who obviously Pep Guardiola's got the league tied up now, but I think Thomas Tuchel will be more determined to win that game because I think the 3 points is needed to secure finishing in the top 4. I think if they win that game, then that's near enough done for Chelsea. So it'd be interesting. I still think there'd be maybe some changes as well because obviously there's been a lot of games recently, and you know, I'd expect both sides to both managers to change the side slightly as well.
Yes, so they'll see them on Saturday. And in fact, Frank, Manchester City have just tweeted, see you in the Champions League final, Chelsea as well. So it's all set up, isn't it, for that final on the 29th of May. Really good as always, Frank, having your company tonight. Your old side have done it. You're going to enjoy your night, I think.
Pleasure. Thank you, Jules.
Top man, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.